Hey everybody, Radamon here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included. Last episode, I was working on redesigning my little spaceport, and I received a lot of really good feedback from all of you about trying to make it better. So I want to implement those ideas right away. One is that I could correct the symmetry issues by just moving this auto miner left. So this auto miner reaches out to the second rung of this ladder. This auto miner will be put in here, and that works for me. And that suggestion was from Taha. So thank you, Taha, for suggesting a way to make my auto mining setup not look well, unfortunate, I guess. And we're gonna set all of this construction up to the 9s. Another one is from Yanshui. Yanshui mentions, now that I'm not really using my space dock here, would it make sense for me to sort of transit tube straight into space? Yes, it would, actually, Yanshui. That's a very, very, very fair point. And let's get that done. One of the reasons I'm not using it is I don't really like jet suits. The problem with jet suits is that your duplicants will try to grab all of the random ores out here and also meat. Specifically meat from the shovel bowls, and it takes them a really, really long time, and it's a super pointless and you know, time-intensive task. And for those reasons, I usually forbid the jet suits. So yeah, we have a lot of jet suits built, and that probably wasn't the wisest idea, but we'll just roll with it for now. All right, so let's put the thermium miner in here. And then we have the double, triple, double, rather than the double, double, triple. And somehow that will help with symmetry. I mean, it will. Well, why are you standing there, Dennis? What are you doing? You are one strange cookie. Some of my ceiling lights are getting broken from the heat. We should be running coolant through these, though. Yeah, here comes the coolant. And then let's actually go and allow petroleum to resupply as well. As you can see, my petroleum got a little low, so we need to refine it. And then the last suggestion was from Graham. Graham asked, wouldn't it make sense if I'm getting brownouts to just have more power storage? Yes. Yes, it would. Yes, it would, Graham. So we're going to get that done, too. So I'm going to add a whole lot of... Actually, you know what? They don't even need to be smart batteries. Jumbos would work. Because smart batteries can be used for automation, but I don't need smart batteries for this task. So the difference between batteries here, let me just go through that real quick. The small batteries store 10 kilojoules, the jumbo batteries 40 kilojoules, the smart batteries 20 kilojoules, so the jumbo batteries are twice the size. Now there is a little bit of power loss, so there is a power leak of 2 kilojoules per cycle on the jumbos, and only, well, the power leak of the smart batteries is lower. So although we don't really need smart batteries, I might do smart batteries for less power leakage. So one of the reasons why I was using so few batteries and just had my network supplied the way it was is so that I wouldn't have power leak. But at this point, I would have to say browning out is more damning, more dangerous than the power leak itself. So we'll remedy that. What are you doing, dude? Just stop climbing up. Why are you doing this? I think he's trying to get up beyond the bunker doors, but like, don't, because you can't. Oh boy, duplicants. Can't live with them, can't live without them. All right, so it's not perfectly symmetrical because, as you can see, my ladder's not really in the middle, but it's close. Okay, this stupid ceiling light broke. That's fine. I don't really care about it. So we are going to make a very easy to clean up space dock up here, and then I'll get back to business as usual, working on the, you know, pushing ahead with all the high-tech stuff I want to do. So first thing, I'm going to add a bunch of auto sweepers. And these auto sweepers will help to clean up the stuff that's on top of the mesh tiles. I'm also... Okay, yeah. I'll have to think about it. Give me more oxyfern seeds, like I needed more. Then another thing I want to do is to redesign the auto sweeper conveyor loader setup. So that's going to be... The real question was, am I going to be able to put sweepies back? And the answer is yes. I could put the... what are they? Utilities? Stations? I forget where the sweepies are. Yeah, sweepy dock. Alright, so here is a thermium sweepy dock, and we'll be putting sweepy docks maybe about here. So they can't themselves get buried. It does mean I'm going to have to move some stuff. And then to the left of the sweepy dock, we're going to have... So all of these ladders here are really going to have to move over, just nudged one. To the left of the... So the left of that will have the auto sweepers and a way to clean up quickly. Alright, let's destroy buildings here. I'm actually probably, just for aesthetics, going to run a lead line underneath the ladder. And then break down the other one. But it's looking pretty good. This here is going to need a power drop. And this old power drop can be removed. The auto sweepers will need power drops as well. But I am not going to put them in until I have conveyor loaders. And a lot of what I'm going to do is a two-pronged approach. I'm going to have the auto sweepers trying to sweep up as much as they can. I could actually probably add auto sweepers everywhere to this and not use sweepies, but then you guys will probably want to see sweepies at some point. So I'm going to include them anyway as a two-pronged approach for tidying up my space. All right, so at this point, this will be steel. And let's get that built. That's looking pretty good. Let's check back on my batteries. No progress. Cool. Well. And then we have the visco gel here, so we're going to stop dumping visco gel. We probably... Oh, yes. Okay. So this is a problem if you don't pay attention to your visco gel. Because it doesn't spread sideways, it over pressurizes and damages downwards. So I'm actually going to need to break this visco gel here. Don't repair it. And then mop it up and fix it. Hey, don't repair it. Because we put so much visco gel that it's breaking the floor tiles beneath it. So good job, me. That was my inattentiveness. But learn from my mistakes. Alright, now the thing is flooded. But we can priority mop. And we get all of it back. And I won't be making that mistake twice. I will stare at it. I'm not sure why I destroyed my bottle emptier, though. Alright, so the floor tiles will get built, and then we'll put the visco gel back. Yeah, that is a threat of visco gel, is if you're not paying attention to it, you can break stuff in interesting, comical, and novel ways. So, utilities. Sweepy dock, thermium here. And then, similarly, we're going to want one here as well. So I am going to change the height of this. So let's destroy that there. Set that to 9. And 9 alike. So we'll have 2 sweepies on either side, and we'll have a bunch of auto sweepers as well. Trying to clean up everything. Okay, guys, someone could build the floor, you know. Thank you, thank you. All right, 9 visco gel and 1 delivery. There it is. That's the 1 delivery. And then the rest of this, we will not allow to be placed. So, delete the bottler. And now it won't overpressurize and blow things up. And then the last is Yang Shui's tip of sending transit tubes straight to space. I really rather like that one, so here we go. The way this is going to look is a transit crossing. A transit crossing here. Actually, I could do transit crossing straight up. That might be even cleaner. And just get rid of this here. That'll work. So, we don't really use the space dock. And we might as well transit tube straight up into the space area. I think that makes sense. I like it. So we'll do it. We'll get it done. So over here, let's do utilities, sweepy thermium. Power that up. And then we'll pair that with an auto sweeper and conveyor loader. Probably eventually dropping all of everything down into this abyss that drops to magma. So we're going to need to finish this tunnel. This tunnel is going to be a remarkably high priority soon. Just for the giggles, because it's one of those like silly projects that should not be made, so let's make it anyway, you know? That's sort of my feeling. So for now, we're not really going to have a place to conveyor load. Which means the sweepy's just going to sweep to nothing. So yeah, really, I think at this point, we're going to have to work on that tunnel. Which is fine. The thing is, it's already priority 7, so it would be really, really easy to, yeah. My guys will start working on that exclusively soon. Oh, look at all this water that has spilled. Oh, speaking of water, I'll have to run my filters. How full is my water storage? Yeah, it is nearing capacity. I am fine with this. It's nice to have a lot of fresh water. But it is a lot of fresh water. Okay, so here's the little sweepies. I can also do something like this, where I put one little mesh tile in the middle so the sweepies don't bump into each other and switch sides. That way they stick to their half, and anything that lands on top of here will be auto swept with the auto sweeper. So it's not like, you know, it's not like we'll have one square of mess or anything like that. Cool. Now my scan quality for both scanners here, as you can see, is 100%. So the change of my setup and layout hasn't affected my scan quality, which is nice. And yeah, we'll just let these sweepers go. Now, it does mean that if I'm going to conveyor rail the junk away, we are going to need a significant conveyor rail to run junk to this tunnel over here. Like, whether it be down and left, probably, to drop it here into the magma. I haven't really figured that part out yet. So soon these sweepers are going to be idle. Actually, we're dumping the regolith out. Okay, that's fine, I suppose. Okay, yeah, we're making our duplicates do manual trips to empty up the sweepies. Not ideal. Not ideal. So I think what I'll do is set these as 1s, just so it's a super low priority and we can work on that tunnel. So, tunnel. Hello, tunnel. You are going to be my new focus. So what I'll probably end up doing here is sweeping out everything that's in this tunnel so that we can wall it off and not have anything like isolated. And that's going to allow us to have one big tunnel network that isn't sort of polluted on the other side. Some of it I might not bother too much with. But yeah, I'll do my best to sweep. But yeah, there's stuff over here that I might not care about to sweep. I'll just wall it. We're about to have 1 million cake cows. My refrigerator is jealous. Alright, how's those batteries coming? Is that what, 4? Yes. So these are not yet built. These should have priority 8. And then what I was going to do is, let's do this as 8 as well. Actually, let's nudge them over a little bit. And smart battery. That about doubles my, the amount of power I have stored. So that should be pretty good, I'd imagine. New printables. Yep, salt water sounds good. I already have too much water, so why not more? What's going on in here? Its body temperature is too cold. Huh. That was not an issue I was thinking I was gonna have. Well, okay then. Alright, insulated gas pipes are going to be replaced. I'll have to keep an eye on it, so when it does drop to too cold, I can warm it back up. But clearly, as it is now, we froze off all the mirth leaves because, well, because the oxygen that we're running through there is, oh my god, is it probably cold. Yeah, negative 73 Fahrenheit, negative 58 Celsius. It's chilly. And the effects of that is, look at this dust cap. Look at the heat. It is icy, icy. What negative, what? So 5 Celsius is it's, okay, we're actually getting close. Funny enough, we're getting close to that bottomed out temperature here. So I am going to make this priorities because we are introducing too much cold into the dust cap farm and the ranches to the point where it's actually doing damage. It's killing off some plants and like, which honestly for me is like just a big flex. It's like, I've done my job. I am happy. Another thing that we might be able to do is actually stick that up there and run a plastic ladder all the way up. Because a gap in the floor will also stop a sweepy. It doesn't have to be a block. And that way we can run straight up. Alright, so over here, this project, we are going to introduce a transit tube crossing here, and then tubes. So one tube that there's not enough room there. I could just have it drop out here, I suppose. Put the... I'm probably going to need thermium access. So I'm going to put it here on insulated tile. But this needs to be higher. I don't have space to do it there. So what if I did it right here? And I'm having it thermium just so that the heat, ugh, I'm bad at painting those. The heat that builds up doesn't cause it damage. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be an issue or not, but if it's going to be an issue, I would like to avoid it. Okay, and then let's say we wanted to stop here. We could do something. It will look a little messy because of this stupid observatory, but we could drop dupes like that. And then in order to build this, we'll need temporary ladders. All right, this is the new 9. What cables do we have? Boom, done. It's probably going to be an overused network, but that's fine. And I think this is far enough away that the transit tubes themselves will not melt from the... Ooh. Yeah, actually, I'm going to go the other way, just to keep it away from the rocket propellant. Because I don't want the heat generated of that rocket to do any damage. And this actually is a little bit easier to build anyway, so... Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Elegant-ish. Definitely ish, but... these mesh tiles... At the top 2 here, I'm going to have it be granite. Because I think the... You know, it will... I don't want it to heat up too much. Alright, now we have a straight run. Let's destroy all of this and replace it with the fire pole. And that will definitely speed us up a bit. Kind of an expensive use for steel, but it'll be alright. Batteries! Still nothing. Cool. Okay, so we do have a transitude exit here. The crossing on that ladder is not ideal. Because it does cut the ladder. This might be one of these things that I should but will not care about. How's that for an answer? Okay, there's a little pocket of hot carbon dioxide up top. So I think what I'll do is just move the where the insulated gas pipes are to try to get rid of the hot carbon or warmer. It's not even really hot, but the warmer carbon dioxide up top, and redo that system. But here we go. We have got full transit tube all the way up, which is pretty awesome. And that allows us to build up here much more quickly. And here the transit is being charged. And that gets us back down. All right, tunnel. You're now the thing. You're now my focus, for better or for worse. So, coolant. We were trying to introduce some more petroleum, but only if we're running the refinery. The refinery is set to 7. I'm not going to set it up any higher, but as you can see, we are out of actually petroleum. What are we, Here, I'll raise it up. To a 9. Because it actually does seem important. Hey, we just passed 1 million kcals. There's a lot of food in our kcals that... Not stuff I want. So right now, the molecular forge needs petroleum for its, thermium. So that's where a lot of our petroleum has gone. We did manage to close all the doors. It didn't seem like we had a brownout. That's good. That's different. Having a lot of those brownouts lately. Alright, so the crazy tunnel experiment, we'll give that a little bit more attention than it was getting previously. And that way we can finish the spaceport, the self-cleaning spaceport, which is just a cool project to do. It's cool to have like a late game sort of pseudo-perfect spaceport, so. One of the last projects I'll be working on, of course, but should be neat nonetheless. And here, as you can see, the scrubby on the left is full. Can't store anything else. Alright, have we done any refining? Survey says no. Doesn't really look like it. Yeah, there's nothing in the pipe. Well, they'll get around to it. Wow, there's regolith down here? Dang. How did regolith get down? There was regolith here? How? That makes no sense. Well, that will be a bit of a head scratcher. Oh, hey. So, I guess my switches probably need to be moved a little bit. That's fine. I'll redesign that, because I don't really want my switches to take hits. And as you can see, it just definitely took a hit. Batteries are still not built. Now the curiosity is, I guess they've been doing this sweeping here. As you can see, this is significantly swept up, so work has been done. Just sometimes hard to tell where and what exactly. And they've been emptying out the sweepies. Okay, yep, there we go. I was a little worried that we couldn't reach that, but no, we can. So yeah, my robo-miners here that do not need cooling are able to clear out all of space pretty effectively. So, Tunnel, tell me, I'm trying to figure out exactly what they're all doing, because I don't want to, higher prioritize it in case what my duplicants are doing is useful, helpful, and needed. We should also clean up the sort of debris around our rockets. Okay, here we go. Getting a little bit more petroleum. Some of this petroleum is going back to the pitcher pump so that we can make thermium. Some of it is heading up to resupply my jet suits, which never get used. So then basically it gets shunted off to coolant and refuel. I'm really curious as to what they're all working on. But I don't know. Petroleum manufacturing is, I suppose, is useful. Okay, so this should... Yeah, this is about to be full, so I'm going to cut it myself. Let it filter, and then run it through. Taking a look at temperature. Yep, the warm spot is definitely getting cooled. My mirth are starting to spring back from life being too chilled. That's good. Food poisoning almost taken care of. Done. A lot of that was salt water that we printed out. Wasn't all just polluted water. Now this transit tube is definitely going to be used a lot. That is going to be a high trafficked, high use transit tube. So it might cost me a whole lot of power, and I'll have to keep an eye on my batteries to make sure that it's not taxing my power network. In fact, I would say it is. I mean, take a look at my natural gas. I'm going to disable this for now, just to make sure that my my natural gas can keep up and catch up, because we probably have dormancies. Next activity, 22 cycles, and what about the one down here? And that's next activity, next dormancy. Okay, so this is active. Yeah, we're just going to make sure that we're not using up too much power. And you can always go to the report and see what is using your power. So, like yesterday, power usage. The thermal aqua tuner used a ton. The transit tube access used about the same amount. Gas pumps used a ton. Molecular forge used a bit. You know, refrigerators, so on and so forth. This aqua tuner here, probably not necessary anymore. Because well, I don't know. We're still using this as coolant, I suppose. But we could probably use radiant pipes in that cooling room rather than the aqua tuner, and remove a lot of required power to our from our grid. So that's food for thought. Wow, this buddy bud. I guess we maybe just planted it, but it is not doing much against the slime lung yet. I'm gonna assume it was just a lot of slime lung and we just planted it or something. Okay. So fullerene and niobium are now the insufficient resources. That's good. I'm gonna stop making visco gel because we don't need too much of it. I can continue making insulation because it wouldn't be terrible to have a bunch of insulation if I'm going to be messing with magma. And I do plan on messing with magma just a little bit. So all the doors closed just now, and our batteries are still they're still pretty good. So a lot of what our dupes are doing is a sweep errands in this tube here, which is why they haven't really gotten much farther, because there was a lot to sweep. So I'm okay with that, them sweeping it all up. But let's go priority here and start to crank the priorities up, just so that we can start to see some appreciable progress to said tunnel. Another thing is if I am putting a fire pole in, which is a little bit dangerous because fire poles conduct heat pretty well, we are gonna have to decide where I put it and what we do with it and all that. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have a fire pole. I might just have a ladder, which isn't going to cause any heat issues. Man, this fish is so pissed, I'm sure. It's trapped in a tiny little pond. Sorry, fish. I ruined your life. So happy little sweepies trying to deal with the excess of regolith. Oh boy. And one of our rocket tubes get totally buried. Rocket tubes, yes. Now that I'm staring at that, let's finish off the recabling. To do that, I do want to move this switch so the switch doesn't get hammered anymore. So we'll break that down and move it. The other concept is for this giant tunnel, possibly we just destroy the stuff that we don't want, namely the whatever items are in the tube. We just have them go kaput. All right, this switch and that switch should go. Man, this Buddy Bud. All these Buddy Buds are really just not making a ton of progress. There's just a lot of slime lung in this. Okay, there we go. That looks more like it. Stick the automation wires in, and then we should be all set. Okay, Mr. Regolith Bin, you are going to be a 2 now. So the duplicates aren't making regular transit trips to it. These switches should have been set to off by default, because we immediately opened it up and put regolith everywhere. It's fine. We can close it. Alright, I know it's really difficult to see that we've actually made progress here, but trust me, I think we have. It's just, there is just so much debris for us to deal with. And then once we have all this swept up, we'll just focus on making the tunnel as best we can. And what I might end up doing over here is like, no, I'm not really sure about that. Never mind. Reject that idea. Okay, the natural gas seems to be standing about even. The hydrogen looks pretty good. And if I have to lean on hydrogen, I can always make that change. The batteries, or at least the cabling for the batteries, as you can see, are being installed. But the batteries themselves, not yet. Well, even at a 1 priority, our duplicates are still supplying. Guess that's fine. All right, enough is enough. This is getting the sought-after 9s. I want to see a tube. So what's going to end up happening is at the bottom of that transit tube, or the bottom of this core tube, I don't know. Right here, we're going to get a pooling of a lot of liquid, and I have to decide exactly what I want to do with that liquid. It's possible to just let that liquid boil off into steam and have this chamber down here, which somehow has lost its liquid lock. Good. Have the chamber down here, you know, become pressurized with steam. That's fine if that's just how we want to treat it. I'm okay with that. I'm not really sure if I care enough to make sure we don't do that. It's just a matter of preference and opinion, I suppose. So now that we have this giant tube as a 9, pretty much nothing else is going to get done. And I think I'm going to go the approach of mass destruction, which is to say, liquid, solid, everything goes straight into the drink. Everything is going to go straight into the magma. I'm going to basically make the determination that I do not care. Because we're so close to the end of the series that, you know, it's fine. All right, let's mop this up. And put the visco. Actually, if it's visco, we don't even need, we'll just build that too. This visco doesn't go sideways. Angelia is stuck. Yes, you are. Yeah, please don't build with you on the other side. We're definitely making headway now. Okay, the oil is empty. And at this point, I would probably say we need to stop shunting petroleum into our loop. I'm sure it's quite full. Yeah, this loop is fine. So if the oil is empty, yeah, here is our old liquid pump. We're gonna have to decide on where to get our next bit of oil. Oh, look at all this water. There's a ton of it here. But that's not that close to center. I think the best, easiest solution would just be to mine out stuff that is keeping oil from draining to our puddle, to our pump. So all of this here, 9 now. Yes, the dreaded priority creep of 9. Where nothing ever gets done. Okay. So we're adding sidewalls to this just so that the gases that we are going to be sending up to space don't pool anywhere. They just go straight up the tube. I can also aid this with pumps if I feel that that's necessary at some point, but I don't at this point feel that it is necessary. Okay, so here's my visco, my newest visco gel. I gotta watch this so that it doesn't overpressurize, like sometimes it likes to do. And then the oil refinery is getting oil. Yep. So we're getting oil. So let's take a look at the digging. Yeah, see, it did work quite well. So we're going to dig this out. We can't reach this. So everything 9. And eventually yeah, we'll be done pretty soon. All right, come on, visco gel. Who's delivering? No one yet. This is not a ton of oil that we're introducing, but it's better than nothing without having to move the pump along. Okay, tunnel is definitely coming along, though. We're making headway. Look at all that magma. So then the idea is to... Oh boy. So this oil is kind of an issue, because it is in the way of the tube. Man, there's a lot of oil in there, isn't there? So I'm going to have to reroute this oil here. Drain it away with gravity to get it away from this magma, because basically I'm going to be digging straight into the magma and releasing all that heat. Wow, no one's delivering visco, huh? Make sure I did do... Yep, visco gel. Yep. Didn't do that wrong. Just, it's taken forever. When everything's a 9, nothing's a 9. So the tube is, I would say, maybe a third or a fourth done. Somewhat of a conservative estimate there. Let's stop. We have so much food, I think we're good. She'll help out elsewhere. I'm not going to sweat bothering to undig these command capsule launch tube bays, because it's ultimately really not that necessary. I'd rather just have it build up. Okay, so this is now leaking. Good. I think what I probably need to do is go insulate tile and put insulation. So here's the tube. So put insulation in here, like, as soon as I can. Because there's only going to be so much room for this oil to pool until it's out of room. So this all gets the 9s as well. Because that's a lot of crude oil. And I don't want it leaking in here if I can help it. And it's already leaking in there. Well, we'll get this destroyed and that will make a lot more room for the oil. I can even dig up, you know, an area for it. That is probably... I wouldn't say it's the majority, but that is because there's a ton of oil over here. What is this? Just a superheated hotspot? Yeah. There's a ton of oil over there as well. So it's not like I'm low on oil, plus there's always the reservoirs, but... Okay, that did, of course, get filled up. That's fine. I can always have the oil boil off, too. There was that as a possibility. So everything here is going to be inaccessible once this tube is done, because nothing left of the tube is going to be accessible. So we'll, you know, I will prep for that to happen. And let's drop this bank to 7. Just because it's hard to prioritize, again, with the creep. Okay, visco gel, please just be 1 delivery. Yes, that was 1 delivery, good. I knew that I needed to pay attention to that, and I didn't, and it worked out in my favor. So our liquid reservoir of oil is full. The oil reservoir, or the oil refinery, has made some petroleum, enough that we can start pitcher pumping. Why is that disabled by... Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we'll get all this swept up, which is, you know, going to take a bit. But it's a fun last project for you all, I think. I hope. Make it a little bit faster. And yep, we're even mopping up the oil. So you can see when you judiciously use priority 9, you can actually do a lot really quickly, as long as there's no other 9s on the map. You could take a look at an area and be like, 9 this, and voila. Instant production. So I'm mostly concerned about sweeping this stuff left of where the tube's gonna go. Because what I'm gonna be doing is putting in... Oh wow, I was out of insulation that quick. Well, if that's the case, I might need to do some additional space missions for insulation. So insulation here needs iso resin. And if we take a look at the star map, we get iso resin in the largest amounts going to the carbon asteroid where we have the niobium. So the carbon rockets can continue. If I was really to min-max this, I could remove a liquid fuel tank and have both of these ships go... No, I'm not going to do that. Actually, I could do that from the bottom. Yeah, let's do that from the bottom. Because I don't want to redo the conveyor rails, but I could raise up the height of the petroleum engine by 1. So as to put the liquid here, and then the petroleum engine up. How is there petroleum in here? I thought these were empty. Oh, they are not empty. Well, let's empty them. And that way, we'll get a lot of iso resin for all the insulation. Because the iso resin is the only thing that's going to really stop the magma from wreaking havoc there. Alright, that's a lack of fertilization. That's fine. Alright, so taking a look at the molecular forge. Insulation we can still keep making. We need reed fibers for it, so it would help if I put reed fibers in here as a high priority in the storage bin. And then if I take reed fibers out of everywhere else. And that way we force it stored where we need it. So then I can do a sweep 9 of the reed fibers, and then we have the reed fibers next to the forge to make more of that beautiful insulation. All right, so if we take a look, we're going to have that down to here. So the rocket, the petroleum rocket, should go about here. That has been emptied. Good. So we'll have to break this down and repurpose the rocket. So unoccupied space. Oh, is it because of the gantry? Perhaps. Yeah, okay. I think it's because of the gantry. I can leave the old bunker tiles in, just in case we want to put the rocket back to its original setup. Alright, looks like we're legitimately out of oil over there. I could always run piping, but I want to avoid that if I can. Alright, insulation takes a while to make, so it's going to be a bit for me to make the insulation for this tube. But for better or for worse, this is the project I'm working on. This is my last like shebang before I go to the temporal tear and it may be pointless, but it is what I am doing. It is my pointless project, my last fun huzzah before ending the series of doing something absolutely positively ridiculous, for better or for worse. So that about wraps up this episode. It's going to be a while until I get this, until I get the sort of magma tube. I guess I'll start calling it the magma tube for clarity. Until I get the magma tube, you know, ready for business. So yeah, just, I guess, bear with me, because it will be a few episodes. And if you look at the titles, if you don't want to be watching me just do a whole bunch of like magma tube type stuff, that's fine. Once I get to hydrogen, the title of the series will include like hydrogen production or something akin to that. So thank you all for watching. I will catch you next episode. Farewell, everybody.